Cancer. Have you ever felt your heart sink just from a single message sent by someone very close to you? There are moments when your soul already knows, yet your mind struggles to deny it. That your love, your sacrifice, your compassion have been taken advantage of day after day. And the greatest shock is not that they betrayed you, but that the truth about to be revealed will make you realize the woman closest to you has been feeding her darkness with the light you carried. Sit down, take a deep breath, and walk with me into this journey. Do not leave, because right ahead, we will open the very first chapter, Money Arrives, where you will see the universe beginning to return to Cancer, all that was once lost. Cancer. Have you ever paused in the long nights, taken a deep breath, and asked yourself, have all those years of sacrifice, of giving, of loving, until empty, ever truly been seen? Cancer. Today, the universe whispers a clear answer. This is not luck. This is liberation. This is the key to freedom already written in the stars of your destiny. I once thought money was nothing but cold, soulless paper, but the older I grow, the more I understand money is like water. If it flows in the right direction, it nourishes barren fields, sustains new sprouts, and brings peace to a family. But if it is blocked, that water gathers, swirls, consumes the breath, and leaves us gasping in the river of life. Cancer has stood many times between these two currents. One side, the thirst for freedom, the other, the burden of survival. And you chose silence. You chose to keep giving, even when there was so little left for yourself. In the map of the stars, Cancer is guided by the moon. This planet carries the energy of emotions, intuition, and the deep need for home and family security, though sometimes it can lead to worry. But remember, Cancer God has never forgotten you. He let you walk through dry seasons so you would learn the strength of patience, and then at the very moment you thought you were empty, He sent the rain. That rain is not only water from the sky, but streams of blessing. Money is flowing toward you not as a sudden gift, but as God's testimony that He has seen, has heard, has recorded every tear, every silent wound etched inside your heart. I still remember meeting a Cancer woman in her 50s. She had given her whole life to her family, sacrificed her career and her personal dreams to keep her home warm. But when her trust was betrayed, when her love was used, she was left with nothing but empty hands and tear-filled eyes. And then one day, as if an old river had returned someone, she once helped send her a large sum of money, just when she was near despair. She wept not for the money, but because she knew her silent sacrifices had never disappeared into nothingness. God had kept every fragment of love she had sown and returned them to her in a rain of blessings. This truth whispers to us that wealth is not only in the wallet, but in the relief of a heart no longer chained by fear. Every dollar you gave, every drop of sweat you shed, was never lost. They were only waiting for the right time to bloom into a golden harvest of peace. Cancer money is coming not only to buy what you lack, but to remind you that life never turns its back on one who has lived in genuine love. Have you, through all these years, ever sat alone staring at the ceiling with tears falling, still believing that one day God would open a door? And now perhaps this is that very moment when you begin to see light slipping through the cracks of the dark. Pause for a breath, close your eyes, place your hand on your chest. Feel the rhythm of your heart beating like a sacred drum in the night. It is not just blood flowing. It is testimony that you are still alive, still loved, still protected. But Cancer, remember, money is only one part of the blessing. This abundance is a gift to help you walk lighter, but it is not the whole story because a truth is about to unfold. A secret that the one closest to you may have hidden for so long. And when it is revealed, you will find yourself standing at the threshold of an awakening from which there is no return. Have you ever sat face to face with someone close, hearing them speak tender words, yet deep inside your heart a small voice whispered, "This is not the truth"? Have there been times when just by looking into their eyes you sensed something, vague, a fracture, without a name, but you forced yourself into silence, forced yourself to believe one more time? This is the truth, Cancer. The woman closest to you, whether a friend, a sister, or a family member, is the one holding the key to unveiling the hidden truth. And that shock, when it comes, will not only wound you because of betrayal, it will also shake your trust in your own heart. I once believed betrayal was only a scratch, something time could heal. But then I witnessed Cancer souls caught in the cycle of love being exploited. They gave, they carried, they trusted, and that very generosity was twisted into a blade turned against them, cutting their hearts piece by piece. The cruelest truth is not that the other was false, but that they knew how to exploit Cancer's tenderness, compassion, and loyalty, and used it as a rope to bind. In astrology, Cancer is ruled by the moon, the celestial body of emotions and nurturing instincts. You see both the light and the shadows in others, but because of that, at times you may be too quick to believe in the plays staged before you. The moon's influence makes your vision both deeply insightful and emotionally hazy. But God is never hazy. He sees clearly, he knows all, and he gives you intuition as a doorway of escape. That tightening in your chest when someone's name echoes in your heart is not imagination. It is the alarm bell, a sacred awakening. I remember an aunt in a family who once made a Cancer friend suffer. Whenever she needed help, she would call, crying, pleading, and Cancer would drop everything to rush to her side. But when Cancer was weak, she disappeared, leaving only a heavy emptiness until the day Cancer discovered the whispers behind her back, the fabrications sewn into others' ears by the very person she had trusted. She never expected Cancer to be so silent. No arguments, no accusations, just a quiet disappearance like the sea, receding, leaving the boat stranded in loneliness. What is the lesson here? Betrayal always reveals itself. You do not need to scream, you do not need to prove anything. The missing pieces, the gaps in their words, the gestures too rehearsed, these are the truth rising to the surface. And once Cancer lets intuition lead, you will see who truly loves and who only plays a role to bind your heart. God never allows falsehood to live forever. He will show you the truth so your heart may be free. Perhaps you too have tasted the deepest pain, not because they left, but because you realized they had deceived you for so long. That cruelty is not a violent storm outside, but a sweet, precise cut, making you think you were the one at fault. But Cancer, you were never wrong. Your kindness is not a sin. Your generosity is not a burden. It only proves you are a rare soul who loves without end. Breathe in deeply and exhale. Allow your heart to be freed from the invisible ropes someone so skillfully wove around you. For the moment you choose silence and release, you do not only reclaim freedom, you open the door for miracles to enter. But Cancer, this truth is only the beginning, for after the unveiling of pain, a miracle draws near. A sacred gift from God will touch your soul, showing you that every tear you shed carries worth. Stay, for this journey still holds a radiant doorway ahead. That is where the miracle appears. And as a ritual for your heart, write below in the comments, "I believe the truth will set me free." Dear Cancer, have you ever asked yourself, after all the betrayals, after doors closed, leaving you in darkness, is there still goodness waiting ahead? Cancer, listen closely for this. Is the whisper the universe has long cradled miracles always arrive, though not in the way you imagine. They are not loud, not dazzling at once. They come like a soft breeze, opening the window of your soul, like the first light after a long night. I once thought pain left only ruins, but the further I walked, the more I saw God never lets your tears fall in vain. In astrology, Cancer is under the protection of the moon, the planet of emotions, compassion, and instinctual nurturing. The moon is an ocean both gentle and fierce, but it is also the womb of miracles. The universe moves in a strange circle. The losses you endure become the soil, and from that ground, the flowers of blessing unexpectedly rise. I recall a Cancer woman who once confided after being betrayed by her own kin. She lost all faith in love, in family, even in herself. She fell into the depths of sorrow, believing she could never rise again. But one morning she received a payment from an old friend along with a message, "Your help once saved my life." She wept, but those were tears of release. She understood then God had seen all she had given, and he returned it in a way her heart could never predict. And what is the lesson for you, Cancer? Miracles never come from desperate pleading, but from the patience, purity, and compassion you quietly sow. Money opportunities, or an unexpected hand reaching out, these are but the languages of the universe, God's whisper that says, "I am here. I have never left you." Let your heart hear this clearly. Betrayal cannot steal your light. It is only a veil of dust, and when the winds rise, you will see how brilliantly your light shines. Have you ever thought that the good you have done vanished into nothing, or blamed yourself for being too naive in giving your trust? If so, let this story remind you, no ray of true love ever disappears. It only slumbers until one day God awakens it, and it returns to you multiplied. Relax your shoulders, breathe in deeply, then exhale as though releasing 1,000 old wounds. Feel your heart trembling gently like sacred music only Cancer can hear. It is the drumbeat of the universe announcing a miracle is coming. But Cancer, the miracle is only the beginning. Beyond it lies a silent judgment, and that is the truth that will make your heart tremble. In the next part, Silent Justice, you will see the universe return everything. Before stepping forward, write this as a ritual for your soul. I believe my tears have sown the seeds of miracles. Cancer, have you ever wondered what does true justice look like? Is it a thunderclap, a public judgment in front of the crowd? Or does justice sometimes arrive in a terrifying silence, like the sea suddenly withdrawing its waves, revealing shells, footprints, and secrets? Someone once tried to hide Cancer. The justice meant for you is coming, but it will not be loud. It is the silence given by the universe, forcing the one who betrayed you to face the emptiness they created. I once thought fairness required someone to speak on my behalf, but then I realized what God does always surpasses human calculation. He does not need you to shout nor to prove for. He has seen it all, recorded it all. The cracks in your heart, the tears you wiped away alone in the night. In astrology, Cancer is deeply connected to cycles of emotion and karma related to home and family. It's a place where old emotional wounds can finally heal and new ones begin. The moon, the planet of empathy, teaches you this. Silence itself is a verdict. When you stop speaking, stop explaining, stop trying, that is when the universe answers for you. I remember a Cancer woman who spent her life yielding. When her husband betrayed her, she did not argue, did not create chaos. She only kept silent. At first, everyone thought it was weakness, but a year later, that very silence had become a wall, leaving the man in a house full of emptiness. No laughter, no care, only silence like an invisible sentence heavier than any scolding. And he crumbled not because anyone condemned him, but because of the loneliness he had crafted for himself. Remember, this justice does not need the sound of war drums nor a guard to defend it. It rises from within. It comes from a truth you never have to speak, yet everyone feels. Cancer. Your heart does not need revenge. For every step you take farther, every silence you choose to hold becomes a reminder that love cannot be forced, sincerity cannot be bought. God never lets betrayal pass without consequence. He only places a quiet mirror before the betrayer, so they are left to face the truest image of themselves. The most painful loss for those who exploited you is not losing your help, but losing your presence, losing the embrace that comforted them, losing the eyes that listened deeply, losing the hand always ready to reach out. Your silence, Cancer, is the greatest punishment of all. Have you ever chosen silence not because you did not know, but because you knew too well? And in those moments, did you feel a fragile peace like a river ceasing its roar, returning to its gentle flow? Close your eyes for a moment and listen to the silence within. It is not emptiness, but the whisper of the universe of God saying, "Let me handle the rest." All you need to do is keep your light burning. Cancer, justice is near, but do not think of this as an ending, for behind this silence another door is opening. A door where your intuition becomes a compass, where you learn to read the signs God and the universe have been sending all along. Do not walk away, because the next chapter, Signs and Intuition, will show you you are never truly alone. Before moving forward as a ritual for your soul, write in the comments, "I choose silence," and let the universe speak for me. Let this prayer be the key that unlocks freedom within your heart. Cancer. Do you remember those times your heart suddenly trembled as if someone whispered at your ear? Perhaps you were standing in the kitchen, hands washing dishes, when a vague unease arose inside. Something isn't right. You looked at your phone and saw a familiar name, but your hand froze, hesitating before pressing answer. Your heart already knew, though your mind tried to deny it. The truth is, you don't need proof to know who is sincere and who is false. The Cancer heart itself is the sacred compass God placed in your hands. I once thought intuition was illusion, just oversensitivity. But the more storms I endured, the clearer it became. Those feelings were often more accurate than any explanation. In astrology, the moon, the planet of dreams and emotions, is the stream flowing through the Cancer soul. It grants you a third eye to see what others conceal, to hear what others overlook. And in the Bible, God said, "Whoever has ears, let them hear." You, Cancer, are one of the few souls who can hear that call. I remember a Cancer man in his 60 seconds. He told me once, as he sat on his porch gazing at the sky, a sudden worry rose about his granddaughter. No text, no call, just a clear sense something was wrong. Hours later, his family reported she had been crying alone in her room after a broken relationship. The old man simply smiled, gently walked to her, placed a hand on her shoulder, and said, "I already knew. You don't need to say anything, just cry." His intuition was like God's invisible hand touching the deepest fracture of a breaking soul. Cancer, do not doubt your intuition. It is not vagueness, but the flow of the universe within you. It is God's whisper, the sign you need to discern who is worthy to stay and who is using you. Every shiver, every strange dream, every gaze that unsettles you, all are lighthouses in the dark. All you need is to pause, to listen, and to trust. Have you known those moments when you felt something wrong but soothed yourself? "I'm just too sensitive." You silenced your soul just to keep an unworthy bond. But now, Cancer, you are grown enough to know intuition is not an enemy, but a companion. It is the voice God placed inside you to bar you from spirals of pain. Take a deep breath. Let your heart speak above reason. Let stillness open your inner ears, so you may hear more clearly the signals the universe is sending. Perhaps even now, your body already knows the answer, waiting only for your courage to trust it. Cancer, this is your inborn gift, knowing before others confess, hearing before they speak, sensing before the truth unfolds. And this gift will lead you out of illusions back into the light of yourself. But do you know, beyond the signs and intuition, the last truth that touches your soul is rebirth? A new chapter, a new life, a new light awaits. The next chapter, rebirth, carries the final promise that betrayal is only the darkness before dawn. Before stepping on, as a ritual for your soul, write in the comments, "I choose to trust the intuition God placed in my heart." Let those words become the torch that lights your path. Cancer, have you ever felt so broken that you thought there was no way back? Nights where you lay silent in the dark, believing betrayal was the end, that your heart would forever bear unhealed cracks. Let me whisper to you, truth may hurt, but it does not come to kill you. It comes to birth you anew. I once believed loss meant an ending, but then I witnessed many Cancer after betrayal, sitting in solitude gathering the shards of their souls. They did not seek revenge, nor held blame. They simply stayed silent, wept, then step by step rose again. And at the moment they thought they had lost everything, a new strength appeared, the strength of rebirth. In astrology, Cancer is a cardinal water sign, symbolizing new beginnings and emotional depths. This does not mean an ending, but a dissolving that makes way for a beginning. The moon, the planet of nurturing, teaches you that the death of an illusion is only the birth of a brighter truth. And God, He has never abandoned you. He lets you walk through the night, so you may see that dawn only holds meaning after the dark. He takes away what is unworthy to give you, what truly belongs to your soul. I remember a Cancer woman in her 52nds, deceived by her own kin, stripped of money, even her home. Everyone thought she would collapse. Yet years later, I met her again in a seaside town. She had opened a small shop, planted flowers around her yard, brewed tea in the morning, and watched sunsets fall over the sea in the evening. Her eyes no longer carried tears but glowed as if every old wound had become wings lifting her higher. She smiled and said, "The day they betrayed me, I thought I had died, but it turned out that was the day I was born again." What is the lesson here? Cancer betrayal is not the end. It is the invisible hand of the universe placing a semicolon, so you may continue your story in another chapter. When you learn to let go, to listen to intuition, and to trust the light God placed in your heart, that is when you enter the season of rebirth. You are no longer a small fish swept away by the currents. You have become the boundless ocean, where every wave follows the rhythm of your heart. What makes you happiest is not watching the betrayer fall, but realizing you no longer need them to live, to breathe, to feel whole. True joy is when you stand in the morning light, take a deep breath, and know you are free. You are no longer bound by lies, no longer caged by old cycles. You have returned to yourself stronger, brighter, freer than ever. Do you feel it rising in your chest? A strange joy, as if at last you've set down the heavy pack you carried for years. Do you sense that each scar is no longer a burden, but now blooms as flowers along your new path? Pause a moment. Inhale deeply, exhale softly, and hear your heart beating in peace. It is no longer the rhythm of a wounded soul, but the steady beat of a soul reborn. Cancer, here is the promise meant for you. Betrayal will remain behind. Money and miracles will come to you. Justice has been sown by your silence, and now you step into a new chapter. The chapter of freedom, of light, of faith reborn. Before we close this journey today, as a ritual for your soul, write in the comments, "I choose to trust my own heart, and I am reborn in the light." Seal your choice with a like. Share this video as if you are passing a candle to someone still lost in the dark. Thank you, Cancer, for listening to this journey with your whole heart. May you, after the storms, find peace, fullness, and the light of your own being. Always believe that God and the universe have never left you, that every tear you have shed has already planted the seeds of a new blossoming season. May you be blessed with peace, prosperity, and love fulfilled.